Oh, yes, what a day it is, ladies and gentlemen. Silver at a new all-time high in Australian dollars. We'll talk about that. But in the first part of the show, we're going to talk to Ricky from Perth Bullion Exchange. We haven't spoken in public since the launch of the business, so we're going to do that as well. Get your questions now in for a bullion dealer, Ricky from Perth Bullion Exchange. We're going to talk about his silver price predictions, talk about the success of the business so far, and a bunch of other stuff, and we'll answer your questions for Ricky. If you're watching this on the replay, look, use the time codes below to go to your favorite part, whatever that is for you. But if you're watching live, you can enjoy every single thing we do here at Good Morning Stackers with me, Joe Main. But in the first 1 minute of the show, we do the synchronized slurp. We'll do a second one when Ricky gets on board too. Grab your tasty beverage. I don't care what it is. If it's water, if it's alcohol, don't do alcohol, people, at this time in the morning, but it's your call, freedom of choice. Here we go. We slurp it audibly. It's the honor system. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Great to see you. Oh, we'll do a quick few shout outs, then we'll go straight to Ricky from Perth Bullion Exchange, who is waiting eagerly on the line. He has his coffee ready for a second synchronized slurp. But let's do some quick shout outs, people. It's great to see. Man, we've got a bunch of people watching. This is great. GMS says, Mark, Florida. Great to see you, my friend. Pete, repeat, GMS. Hey, knackers. GMS, driving but we'll be listening in. Good. I hope you're on some kind of hands-free dealio. Okay. I don't want to cause accidents as much as I want engagement. Triple digits in the coming years. We'll talk about that. Hello, everyone. G'day, knackers. Morning, Joe, and Morning, Jason and Ricky. Great. G'day, chat fam. GMS, y'all going to have to watch and catch the replay after. Great stuff. GMS, the lovely PM moves continue. Right. Magadonald's fries. Oh, great name. Waiting on $35 USD silver, likely in the next several hours. Ooh, big call. Gold at 2,748. Awesome. 13 years, 10 days. We're both in the black now. 13 years, 10 days. My goodness me. Let's see. Wow, Magadonald's fries has got a bunch of comments. Great. We'll get to them all. David Williams says, already in the black on a monster box of Roos. Good stuff. I purchased 10 days ago. Good stuff, man. I only got notified to pick up. Fantastic, people. Great to see. Get your questions in for Ricky, and we'll be speaking to him in just about 1 minute's time. Oh, so many comments. GMS, Joe, and the gang. G'day, Ben. Great to see you. Yeah, pretty much good. All right, people. Let's do it. How many GMS family in Sydney? There's quite a few, hopefully. Let's do it, people. I'm going to unmute that, and then I'll unmute the other gentleman right here, and we're going to have him join the show. How do I do that? Muted in sound levels. I don't want to be muted in sound levels. I want to be unmuted. There we go. Yeah, we'll figure that out. Muted in sound levels. I don't want to be muted in sound levels, but let's try it. My funky people, we are going to have a chat with Ricky from Perth Bullion Exchange. As you know, perthbullion.com.au. Sound effects, muted. I don't want to be muted in sound levels. I want to be that on. And I want to be that. Well, give it a go. Let's see if you're on the line right now. Oh, there we go. And you are unmuted, my friend. Everyone, welcome Ricky from Perth Bullion Exchange. Now, say a couple of things and we'll see if we can hear you first off.
Yeah, g'day, Joe. How are you?
G'day, mate. Tell us in the comments, everyone, can you hear Ricky? No problem. And look, what I'll get you to do, Ricky, one thing, I'll get you to sit a little bit more further in the center of the frame if you can. That would be lovely, so we can see your beautiful face because you're, there we go, that's great. And may I please have you grab your tasty beverage because we will do another synchronized slurp. So, on the count of 3, everyone get your beverages. 3, 2, 1, go. Slurp it, Ricky, please. Come on. Whoa, that was a good slurp. Fantastic. Mate, how's things?
Good. How you been? We've been a while between chats.
It has been a while between chats. Now, we have lots of private chats. Saucy. Just kidding. But it's been, the last time we chatted publicly was on launch day. I think it was launch day, May the 1st of this year. He is a little bit blurry, Pete, but that's okay. That's life, you know. So tell us first off, and we'll get some questions from the people. So get your questions in now for Ricky. But tell us. I just want to know the first. So what has it been? May, June, July, August, September, October. We're talking 4 or 5 months roughly. How's the experience been for you as a brand new bullion dealer? What's that experience been like for you so far?
Yeah, well, it's obviously comes with all its challenges. So there's lots of things you don't know until after the fact, which
Yep.
you learn as you go, I suppose.
Yep.
And I suppose the ups and downs in the metals price, and mostly ups of late, I suppose, and how that sort of swings and affects sales and how busy it is and buybacks and all that sort of thing. So it's sort of been a bit of a roller coaster ride so far. So it's
Mm.
been interesting. I've learned a fair bit. Even you think you know a lot when you start, and then you learn doubly as much every month, I think. So
Yeah, absolutely. Is there any one thing that stands out as the biggest thing you've learnt so far that you can give away sort of publicly?
customs, I'd say.
Yeah, okay.
Um, you could never imagine the amount of drama you could have. You think the laws are set and this is how it works with customs and things like that, and you
Mm.
can just never imagine the illogical nature of some of those conversations around clearing bullion through customs. It's tedious to say the least.
Yeah, yeah, could not agree more. Having, as everyone knows, having spent, 11 years in the bullion industry, over three major bullion dealers, yeah, customs have been a real issue. When you start to get it right and it's almost like you always have almost, and tell me if this is, you understand this, almost like you have to get to know the individual customs officers sometimes. It's like, oh, can I always speak to Sam, please? Because Sam kind of knows what he's doing and all that. That's what I found. Well, excellent. And just tell me about the growth of the business because it sounds like it has been growing pretty steadily.
Yeah, so it's been pretty steady, obviously. As we sort of get a bit more of a social media following, sort of seems to be a pretty heavily correlated thing. And then the swings with the prices, I suppose it's sort of hard to say definitively if you're moving in one direction sometimes because, with the price movements, sometimes we can, double our sales one day just because the price is down or, which is sort of makes it hard to judge which direction you're heading because the purchasing is sort of so defined by the price
Mm.
action. So,
Yep, yep,
which,
absolutely.
everyone should be dollar cost averaging, but it's definitely not the
Oh,
case.
you would think so. When we always say that dollar cost average, but yeah, like the price, it always seems to be the price jumps up by $1 or $2 Australian, and then like everyone like jumping in, and that's what I've always noticed. Have you noticed that same thing? They're kind of buying on the FOMO rather than buying on the dips, or
In
a bit
this
of both.
latest price surge, it's definitely been that. It feels like a bit of FOMO, like it's
Mm,
sort of gotten busier as the price has gotten higher, and maybe that's just a bit of a belief now that this is it.
mm,
This is the run now. But previously, sort of going back into the earlier months, it was like the price had jumped $2 and it'd be crickets until it sort of came back a little bit, and then
mm.
people would come back in and start buying. But it's definitely reversed on this one for some reason.
Yep, fair enough. Tell me what I'd like to know, and of course, you're a brand partner and all that stuff, and so I champion the business, but which is a genuine thing. And I talk a lot about the free shipping side of things, and I've had a lot of people ask me how is it that they're able to do it, and why can't other bullion businesses do it? Now, we're not poo-pooing other bullion businesses. You should like anything, buy from other bullion dealers too, and all that sort of stuff. But how is that going? How are you finding the response to free shipping? And if no one knows what I'm talking about, Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au is the only business in Australia, bullion businesses, that offers free shipping when you buy over a certain amount. And it's very easy to qualify for it. So how have you found the response to that? And without giving major details away, how is it that you're able to do that in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, the response has been pretty good. There's some people who don't quite understand it, I suppose, and we get the odd one that sort of phones up and goes like, "Oh, I bought 5 coins. Is it free shipping?" But
Okay.
for the most part, most people sort of get it, and you do sort of see people making sure they hit that. So often you'll see them buy. We've seen plenty of people buy 2 or 3 of a 1 ounce coin, and then say, when we had the 1/10 in stock, they would like finish off the order with 1/10 to get to that free shipping.
Yeah.
It's been pretty positively received. We sort of, when in the outset, when we probably spoke last on camera, we originally were using Team GE for everything, but we pretty quickly found
That's a delivery service, right? Carrier.
Previously Toll. So
Yeah.
we very quickly found that offering the free shipping on some of those shipments was just not practical. So we had to then add Australia Post to our services, because while toll can often be cheaper city to city capitals and things like that, what we found was there was the odd one that was going to regional Queensland or Tasmania that would be like about $90 for a 1 kilo package. So we sort of had to bring
right.
Australia Post into the mix and sort of have, we use the sender of lowest cost, I suppose, to fill those free shipping orders.
Yep. Okay, fair enough. Let's switch to some prediction time. Now, you did make a video not too long ago. I think it was called like Ricky's price predictions or something like that. And if I get a chance, I'll link to it. But has anything changed since then? Let's do the old. Let's do like the old. Where do you think silver's going to be in 5 years' time? That kind of thing.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that sort of surprised me was the time frame. So I don't like what's sort of happening now in this price movement was sort of what we were thinking would happen, but we were sort of thinking like mid-December. So there's, as most people probably follow the news flow, there's not really been too much of a catalyst over the last week. Like nothing big in the economic news has sort of pushed the needle. It's just sort of finally started to happen. So we were sort of thinking things would sort of play around a bit where they were, just under that 4,000 ounce for gold. And before we sort of started to see it really run in December and January. So probably the biggest thing, is just the timing. So it's just sort of brought forward, and, I honestly couldn't tell you why it's moving now and not later. So, I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Up is up, I suppose.
And again, for people who will probably ask, we try not to give exact prices and all that kind of stuff, but do you have a general forecast? And saying all of this, you're a bullion dealer, you sell the stuff, so we put all that, those caveats into place. But how this started, I mean, you were a stacker for a very long time before starting the business, so you have a vested, interest in just seeing the price go up from a stacking perspective, not from a business perspective. What's your your gut feeling?
Yeah, I think so. This run that we're sort of seeing now, although it's early, I suppose the only risk there is that maybe without some sort of solidifying news to sort of lock in the gains, maybe we do see some pullback. I'm not, I don't know. It's probably more your kettle of fish with the technicals on that one, but I think there's a possibility that we see a bit of a pullback without some sort of news to sort of consolidate the gains. I don't think we're going right back, but I think it would be healthy if we saw a 5-6% pullback and then consolidate before the next leg. But I think now that this sort of run has happened, although earlier than what I'd sort of anticipated, I think there's a real possibility that all the I don't like to do the top numbers because I feel like it gets a bit tinfoil hatty, but I don't think that $4,500 gold is out of the question for next year, and it's just a question of
US or AUD. You mean US or Australia?
I think definitely in Australia, and I think USD $3,000 gold is definitely on the cards for next year, and it's sort of getting the feeling that the timing might just be pulling back closer to now, obviously, rather than being 6, 7, 8 months away. it sort of seems like whatever's pushing that price is now sort of shortening the time frame. So
Yep, fair enough. All right, and let's talk about what's just recently, and this is going to be obviously a plug for the business, as we always do every single show, but an extended one, I guess. Wanted to talk to you about the unallocated program for you and why you released it, and I'm going to quickly share it on the screen as well, because I don't think many people know that that has actually been a new part of a new feature of the business. So do you want to quickly briefly explain to anyone who's kind of new to the stacking community, who's found this show and has found your business, what an unallocated program is and what sort of the basic advantages might be of dipping into Perth Bullion Exchange's unallocated program?
yeah, so for those of you that have seen unallocated programs elsewhere, it's obviously going to be very similar to that. But for those of you that haven't, it's a way of acquiring metals without paying a premium is sort of the best way I've put it to people. So buying an ounce of silver will be part of a pool. So it's pool unallocated. So, you might buy an ounce, someone else might buy 10 ounces, someone else might buy 50 ounces. Now, we back that 1-to-1, but that might mean that is in a 100-ounce bar with 10 other people, or it might mean that your 100 ounces is, 5 tubes of ruse or whatever that might be. So it just means essentially that we carry that metal to back that paper silver, essentially. So it's a bit like paper silver, but without the risk of it not being backed 1-to-1. Sort of the advantages of it, I did notice in the comments there, someone said they were in the black on some ruse after only 10 days. So sort of the advantages, I guess, is that typically, like, whilst that's great with this price action, typically, you need to see this $5-6 movement in the price of metals before you're in the black. So that could take, in a normal market, that might take 3-4 months or longer before you're in the black.
Yes.
The advantages of the unallocated program, with the fees just being, on a 1 ounce product, $1, means that very quickly, like, just today, like if you bought yesterday, today you'd sort of be in the black pretty well.
Yeah.
So it just means that you've got less of a spread, which means it's much easier to get in and out as required, and makes it, whilst metals will always be a long-term hold, it sort of makes it sort of, rather than being potentially a 12 month plus, 3, 4, 5 year hold, it can be, 3-4 months if you feel like, like now that the price is, really getting to run. You don't have to go out and physically acquire the metal, store it at home, and pay that premium and lose a lot of your potential profits in that spread. You can acquire it straight away. It's easy to do, and you reduce the cost of making that trade. So if you feel like something's happening over the next 4 to 6 months, you could buy it now and sell it in 6 months' time, and you just take more advantage of the price movement, I think.
Yeah. I mean, as you know, I've, again, worked for major bullion dealers, and each bullion dealer I've worked for has had unallocated programs. So I certainly see the benefits. The other benefits, I can say that, yes, cheap spreads, of course. And what's the buy-in price? That's spot, right?
Yeah, so all the metals are buy-in at spot,
Yep.
and then it's just a fee on the sale price. So
Yep.
it's $1 on 1 ounce or 1 gram gold. So
Yep.
1 ounce silver, 1 gram gold, and then
Yep.
it's $25 on 1 kilo silver and 1 ounce gold.
Yep. That'd be under spot price at the time that you'd be
Yeah, yeah.
you'd be selling. Good. And of course, just like every other bullion dealer that's done it, physical redemptions and all that sort of similar stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, so essentially it's you pay the premium over the spot price to acquire the physical redemption. Obviously, goes without saying that if you had 100 kilos of silver that you wanted to redeem, you know because you want pant bars doesn't necessarily mean we're going to have 100 pant bars. So
Yeah.
that we'll have to work with people for physical redemptions to make sure they get the products that they want, and that might
Yeah.
take a week, might take 2 weeks, but there's always something backing that product. It just might not be the specific product that you are after when you go for a physical redemption.
Yeah. The good thing I like about the unallocated is you've locked the thing about the unallocated for me is you've locked in the spot price portion at the time where you think it's right for you. And so yeah, and so the metal's still there. So if you're looking to redeem for physical, but you're like, well, I don't really need it right now. I want the pant bars, but they're not getting pant bars for another 6 weeks, for example. That's okay. You've still got exposure to the metal, so you just wait until they're in, then you pay the premium. That's the thing. And also, what I like about unallocated is that sometimes I don't know what I want, but I know I want exposure to the metal. It's like, well, I just want silver, right? Yeah, okay, great price, yep, buy. Great. And then later on, I just go a week's time, 2 weeks, 3 months time, I go, I think I want this, that, and the other. And then I get it then. And the other reason I like unallocated is because let's say, the Perth Mint are going to release, next year they release the year of the animal, whatever that is. And again, the price 2 months before that is really good for me. And it's like, well, I want to get the physical, year of the whatever next year, but the price is really good. I'll lock that in, and then I'll just redeem later on when the physical, comes in, when the particular coin or bar or whatever is released. Is there any particular time frames, any limitations, anything like that on the unallocated program?
Yeah, there is a few limitations, and that's just sort of in line with the size of the business. So obviously, we have to, make sure that our cash flow is somewhat protected. That if somebody was to have, 100 ounces of gold, that if they were to cash that in, it's just got to be relevant to the size of our business for us to be able to, put the cash flow into that over a period of time. So I believe, and it will be written on the listings, but I believe it's 25,000 per person in redemptions per day. So that just, if somebody had 100 grand, obviously with us and the size of our business so far, that, being able to fulfill, multiple $100,000 buybacks, it's no different to if somebody walked in here with 500 kilos of silver. That we'd have to sort of stagger that over many days. So.
Okay. And was there any kind of, let's say if I bought today and I wanted to sell tomorrow, do you have any kind of do I have to wait a period? Because, what I would admit, because what we used to have with other bullion dealers is some people would treat unallocated like a day trading program. First, it would maybe they'd buy silver here and it jumped $2 overnight or in 2 days time or in 3 days time. And they go, oh, I want to sell right now. And they're just constantly buying and selling. And because there's a lot of admin that goes into, processing payments and all that stuff. So are there time frames with that?
So we wanted to avoid the nature of the product for us wasn't for those people. So it's for the stackers, like you say, who want to acquire the metals and aren't sure what they want yet, but want exposure to the metals, or don't have a preference on what metals they want. They don't want to pay storage and things like that. So the product is designed for those people. So what we did do was put in a limitation. So in the first, if you were to purchase on a Monday, you cannot sell those metals until the following Monday or after, so that we don't want people ringing up on Monday saying, oh yeah, give me 1,000 ounces, because we have to back that. So we actually have to go and get those metals as well. And then they ring back on Wednesday and say, oh yeah, no, sell that 1,000 ounces.
You just placed the order and now it's not even here. Yeah.
So it's just a bit of a restriction, but it sort of discourages the people that are, there's not a lot of margin in those, as you're probably aware. There's a lot of admin and not a lot of margin. So it's more of a thing that we'd like to do because people have asked us, and some of the bigger dealers, I know some of them have got really good programs, but some of the bigger ones, people have come in and said, oh, we've got some with these guys. Do you guys offer something similar? And some of the spreads get pretty outrageous. And I've personally experienced that many years ago when I first got into an unallocated program and I didn't do enough research. So we wanted to offer something that was cost effective and of value to, our customers. We didn't want to encourage, the day traders and people trying to flip it every week and things like that. It's not what it's there for. So we thought that would be a good way to sort of discourage that, and allow the people who we made the product for to take advantage of it.
Yep, fair enough. All right, well, we'll enough talk about unallocated. I can't recommend it more highly, particularly if it's a company that has been around for a while and you trust them and all that kind of stuff. So and everyone do your own research and do your due diligence. We have a couple of questions, and get your final questions in for Ricky right now, because we'll be ending it pretty soon. We are asked by Canberra Stacker, are you going to start doing unallocated platinum?
Yeah, so I think I spoke to someone about the platinum just recently. Originally, as most people probably aware, we didn't have platinum on the website because we had so many issues in the setup period with the metals slowing down the metals update, slowing down the loading of the website. So we left platinum off the website originally as a category, and then it sort of just got overlooked when the unallocated was being sort of set up in the back end, because it wasn't actually present on the website at that period. So it's something we just got to get back to and get it set up, but we will be doing platinum, yeah.
Excellent. Jason Ashworth asks, what's a typical day like in the life of Ricky at PBE? Interesting one.
Well, over the last couple of months, it's pick your day, I suppose, because a Monday is chaotic, to say the least. Like Monday sort of seems to be, I'm not sure what it is, but maybe people get time over the weekend to sort of make purchases, but I'd say Monday is sort of 3 times busier than any other day. And then I suppose running around, we've been trying our best to keep on top of the YouTube stuff, but and make sure we're producing content. So we try and squeeze some of that in most days, but it's with the latest sort of run in price and the sales that have sort of gone with it, it's really just been running around filling orders mostly. So,
well, it's a good problem to have. Now, Jason Ashworth asks again, what's your favorite bullion 1 ounce coin, Ricky? Perhaps from a value point, and then purely a design aspect.
I love the Canadian stuff. I can't speak highly enough of those guys. I think the finish on them, everything is immaculate. If I'm going for a pure bullion product, at cost, and they're relatively speaking pretty good value. Like you're paying maybe $1 something more than a roux. And you put those two coins side by side, you wouldn't look twice at the Kanga, to be honest. So yeah, definitely for me, the 1 ounce Canadian maple is like heads above the rest.
Okay. Yep. Excellent. Any final questions? I have one question of my own. Let's see. People, great to see everyone's loving that you're in here. Got lots of positive comments, and we have a lot of people that are customers of yours that watch here. I know David Williams in particular has purchased from Perth Bullion Exchange before. Let's see now. I think Jason Ashworth says more of a statement than anything else. I think unallocated is great because I never have $4,000 for a 1 ounce gold coin. So buying a gram at a time is a great savings vehicle. Yes, Jason, great point. The great thing about unallocated, and we'll get off this unallocated topic, but it is important to talk about. You want exposure to the metal, and later on down the track you want 1 ounce gold, a bar, a coin, or whatever. But you ain't got $4,000 now. Okay, so you buy a gram now, you buy a gram next week, you buy a gram the next week, and you're just building it up, and you've averaged your price in, right? And then you get enough, 31 or 32 grams of unallocated gold. And then you've locked in all your spot way back then, and then you've redeemed for your physical 1 ounce. So that's the other big advantage of unallocated, in my humble, non-financial advice opinion. Let's see. How is this? I don't know if this is a question for you, but we'll double check. How is purchase spot price affect when buying out of business hours? World trade spot price. Oh, okay. So Nakas is saying, how is purchasing spot price affect when buying out of business hours world trading spot price on the web page? So I think they're saying you can buy 24 hours with the unallocated program with the website, right? I mean, it's just live.
Yeah. So it's a live feed from a I'm not sure for the tech gurus out there with the metals API that sort of feeds in the price. So it's live feed 24 hours a day. So
Yeah. Yep. Anytime you're up at 3 in the morning and you want to buy, well, any product, a physical product or an unallocated product that's completely live all the time. Question from Pete Repeat. Will Perth Bullion Exchange be getting more kangaroos? Great for dollar cost averaging.
yeah, I believe we've got a couple of monster boxes of roos. They are sitting with the wholesaler now. We sort of, just for cost effectiveness, we try to batch things together. So what we've made an order as soon as we sort of started to get really low on stock, but we're just waiting for a few other things to sort of batch up before we get them shipped out.
Yep, fair enough. There's a question from me. Is there anything interesting that's coming in that we should know about? You know, you'll do an unboxing video, I imagine, stuff like that. But anything you can give us a sneak preview in, something that you haven't had in yet, something that's new to the range, anything coming in,
Yeah, I think
or that you've been like, I've been meaning to order that soon because I really want to get it in.
yeah, well, that's probably one of the main advantages of being a bullion dealer is that I just buy things that I like mostly.
Yeah, yeah,
because I sort of use my own. Often there's things that people ask about, but often I just think, oh, that's cool.
yeah,
We'll get
yeah.
that. So we've got some Una and the Lion. We've got the next year coming through, but we also got some gold. A couple of people did ask about them. So we got some Una and the Lion in the 1 ounce gold.
Yeah.
I thought they looked pretty cool. The other one, we sort of, unfortunately, we didn't get in early enough to get more. So there's not going to be a lot, but I think we got all of the Zombucks.
All right.
But very small quantities. Like we took everything they had left. We're talking, 30, 40, 50 of each sort of thing. So I think it's the Panda, the Roo, and the Cook maybe.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I thought they were pretty cool. Unfortunately, they'd already sold out and they're a limited mintage every year. So we just took what they had left and it might have only been a couple of tubes of each. But,
that's fine.
Something interesting. I'm sure people snap them up.
Yeah, I like the fact that you've got a good range of stuff that you don't normally see, everywhere else. I like that. I have one last question, but I think Jason is asking, new legendary warriors coming in soon? Question mark.
Yeah, I think in that order that we're waiting for dispatch there, I think we got some more of the more recent ones because unfortunately when we ordered the last order, they didn't have a lot in stock, so we only got 100 or 200. So I think we got a few more of those, and we also got a small amount of the Joan of Arc. But unfortunately, when we go to get the new ones, the stock levels they've just been released, so everybody's cleaning out the stock. So it's always rather than being able to get 500 or 1,000, we're sort of having to take 200.
Yeah.
Because the latest one is always the one that's under the most demand right. For the wholesalers as well.
Yep, that's true. Legzio asked, best 1 kilo coin. Do you have your favorite 1 kilo coin that's ever been? Do you have a favorite?
No, I don't think I ever. I do like the 1 kilo Lunas. I sort of had to tone that back a little bit. I was collecting most of I was trying to get into the Series 2, and then about halfway through collecting that, I sort of thought, oh, yeah, this is getting a bit expensive.
yeah, fair enough. Knackers, and I'll keep this as maybe the last question, and I've got a quick question of my own. How busy is your walk-in trade in general? Do you get many walk-ins? Because you have a physical store.
Yeah, it's been pretty steady. A few sort of mostly regulars. So we probably had the same 20 or 30 people that were sort of in rotation. But what's really with that price movement, that sort of seems to be as much as we've probably sold a bit more online. Last week was quite crazy with the walk-ins. Like probably the first time we've had multiple people waiting. Normally it's pretty good, like we pump them out pretty quick, but we've actually had a few times this week just gone where we've had people having to wait 15-20 minutes.
Oh, how dare you, sir. Man, that's really good though. I mean, 15-20 minutes, and there's been I've seen longer waits than that, so that's really good that you're pumping through them really well. And as the business grows as well, I'm sure there'll be more staff members to handle the extra volume that'll be coming through. Tony asks, I've got to give a question to Tony because Tony is chat mum. What year did Ricky start stacking?
I got pretty heavily into it in around 2014, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
But then I sort of cooled the jets a little bit, and I sort of took some time. It was after that 2011 period, and obviously it was really heavily publicised. And then after the drop, I sort of got into it pretty heavily there, and then I sort of moved away from it until I sort of reignited interest again in, I think it was 2018, 2019, when it was about, I think it was about $14 or something, and it was all in the headlines again, and that sort of reignited my interest again. Awesome. I was definitely more of I was trading a lot more earlier in paper, and it was probably more the 2018, 2019, where the physical market moved so far away from the paper market, that probably got me more into the physical side of things.
Okay, fair enough. I will probably end it there, but I'll ask one of my quick little questions, a little bit self-serving as well, but I will make mention of a comment here. PB are awesome to deal with. Big fan, says David Williams. And of course, you've got the physical store, etc., and all that. But I just want to quickly touch upon the content side of things. Tell me, and it is self-serving because I've been giving some tips and tricks and all that kind of stuff. But tell me about your journey with the content creation side of things. How are you feeling now about it than in the beginning, for example? And what's your general, how does it feel doing it on the regular basis?
I mean, I don't know how other people do it, but
and while you're talking, I'm going to share the screen, which is your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'm not sure how other people do it, but we have always done it on the fly. We don't so much as sort of write down some keywords. We do it on the fly. So, I mean, Joe's been great in sort of giving us, the confidence, I suppose, and some of the groundwork around making sure it's engaging sort of content and how to prep yourself up. And that was important early on because it's sort of a bit daunting when you first get going, but then it's sort of, just becomes a bit more conversational. So you just sort of hit go on the camera and start talking. It sort of seems to work out. So I haven't said anything stupid yet, I don't think so.
Is there anything you've learned about yourself while making content?
No, but I think
a necessary question, but
for me, I'm some people often don't believe me, but I'm very introverted. I'm not a big outgoing person at all, so I'm very probably more reserved and quiet. So probably that, with repetition and a bit of coaching in the right direction, that even for those people that don't see themselves as doing YouTube or anything like that, or being in the sort of public eye, I suppose, that it is just, it's a bit of a muscle, like once you start doing it and it's a repetition, you sort of anyone can do it. I think it's just a matter of having the right sort of person pointing you in the right direction, and then just the repetition of it.
Cool. Excellent. That was a great segue for me to plug my own services later on. Appreciate a little, I'll give you a little money under the table there. Thank you. Any last comments, anything that you wanted to mention about the business, anything like that before we get going?
No, I suppose we're just really appreciative, I guess. Like, we've had a lot of great feedback. People often take the time to sort of, we've had people just ring us up for no other reason other than to sort of, say we're doing a good job and they like the videos and things like that. So, we really appreciate the feedback that, we get from people, and, we try our best to sort of, do the right thing by the customer. And, we sort of hope that carries through, that people are sort of receiving that on their end. And, we're just really thankful for all the support.
Excellent. There is one more question. Damn, they're going to keep. This is the very last question, and it's an important one, actually. Nakas O'Reilly asked, do you have a business background? And I know
Yeah, I
I know
do.
the answer to it, but you.
Yeah, I do. So I suppose I worked in mining for many years. I suppose probably 7 or 8 years before I started my own business. We ran that for probably very hands on for 4 or 5 years, and then we sort of progressed that now over the last sort of probably 3 years to where it's not so much hands on for me. We've got some really good staff in that business that are sort of at that level of management where it's allowed me to sort of it was a bit ridiculous there at one point, the amount of work that was going on. So for me anyway, so it's been really good over the last sort of 2 to 3 years that I've been able to sort of step back a little bit and, allow those guys to sort of champion it as their own. And it allows me to sort of look at passion projects a bit like which we're doing now with the bullion business. It's, something that I was really interested in, and just having the ability to do that's been amazing. And I suppose that's come from, having the other business sort of operating successfully.
And nothing's guaranteed in life, but I think it's pretty obvious to say if someone can build up one business and make it very, very successful, and then be able to remove themselves to a certain degree from that business, and then the next thing that they do is much more likely to succeed. And I think you're succeeding, already just since the start of May. So that's my little ending of that. I think you guys are doing great guns, and look forward to continue to work with you. And that's it. Have a great day. Well, let's do a final synchronized slurp just to end it. So everyone, synchronized slurp for Ricky from Perth Bullion Exchange saying thanks, mate. Here we go. Thank you, my friend. I'm going to put you on mute and turn you off, and I will speak to you very soon. Everyone, that was Ricky from Perth Bullion Exchange.
Cheers, Joe.
All right, my wonderful people. That was Perth Bullion Exchange. Great to talk to Ricky from Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au. I would highly suggest, if you're not a customer, then very much be one. Head to perthbullion.com.au. And, of course, we're going to talk about the silver price. Today we'll do some quick live gold, silver, platinum analysis. But also, you really, because that was like a very extended, almost like a plug, or a very extended plug. You've got to know about my other brand partner, of course, of which I will be getting onto the show in a similar fashion as well. We'll talk maybe to David Skegan, the CEO, or maybe I'll get one of the other lovely people from Wealthstack, wealthstack.com. You are saving, investing, and transacting in physical gold with a Wealthstack account. What's coming? A silver is coming, platinum is coming, a debit card is coming as well. Tap and pay for your everyday goods and services with real gold, silver, etc. Currently, they're offering gold at spot plus 1%, and then it's 100% backed by real physical metal, just like all good unallocated gold programs are. And this is perfect for those people if you want to send this to your normie friends and family, because it's a phone app. And this is really cool, right? Download it on iPhone or Android and send it to them. If you don't think they're going to be into the physical stuff, that's okay. Send it to them because they think we're these weird, crazy collector hobbyist people. We know better, but our normie friends and family, send this to them. This might be really interesting for them, and if it's interesting for you too, highly recommend diversifying your risk profile as well. So Australian regulated, Australian backed, Australian based. Go to wealthstack.com, go all the way down to the bottom, click on the frequently asked questions page, and read the frequently asked questions. It's a very, very amazing program, which is adding more and more features as the weeks and months go by. So that is Wealthstack, wealthstack.com. Let's see. Let's do some live gold, silver, and platinum analysis. Of course, this is what you get every single weekday morning with me, Joe Main. Sometimes I miss a day or two because I've got other things to do. I've been an entertainer for 25 years, so this Friday We won't have a show, just so you know, because I'll be traveling to Brisbane. I'll plug that a little bit later on. But let's take a look at let's start with, how about we do gold in USD? Let's do that. Get your final comments and questions in, etc. for me, and then we'll say our fond farewells after that. Here is gold. Yowza! Gold in American dollars, I was going to say, Australian dollars, American USD, 2,747.48. Wow, this is gold on the monthly time frame using the tradingview.com website. Geez, it looks like it's really wanting to creep up to that area. Am I saying it's going there? No, but geez, look at right now. Look at people. It just feels like a magnet to that sort of $2,875 to $3,000 level. Could be completely wrong. As I've been saying, gold is looking peaky, not peaked, not long-term peaked. It looks short-term peaky from about here. I've been saying this for a bunch of weeks now, ever since we hit the mother of all trend lines right here. From here, I would say anywhere between here and about $3,000 is icing on the cake. Okay, so if we peak to about 3,000-ish psychological value, then we retrace from there. Nice, healthy move. Okay, but even if we retrace from here and come back down, that's still a very healthy move, because in the last bunch of months, after we broke out 2,000 and 2,100 roughly, right, we've had a screamer of a year so far. Okay, so we will come back and test a level. What that level is, we don't know yet. If it pumps to $3,000, this could be the most beautiful level that we retest. I've done it many times before, but for example, if we do something like this, that would be the most, right? Exclamations all over the place. That would be the most brilliant move. Okay, that's what we all really want to see. Have a peak, have that retrace, bounce off the mother of all trend lines, and then that's support. Go, 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 go time, okay? And of course, in the longer term, I see the price of gold going much, much higher. We're talking 10,000, that kind of thing, okay? If when, of course, not financial advice. But that's the kind of move that you would want to see. But on the daily, let's see, it's looking positive, very positive. Again, it is peaky, right? We're back into the extremely overvalued for gold now on the daily time frame. 1, 2, 3, and just a more recent one. Okay, we've just gone back into there. It's just looking peaky from here. Again, we can always sail up to that area first. Have a look on the weekly time frame. Okay, this is on the relative strength index. Okay, went that move into the weekly. We found support, and then we've gone back in very, very quickly. Okay, we're seeing more explosive moves now. Okay, we're seeing days where you have higher percentage gains. Okay, so we're getting towards that top end there. Watch out for, on the relative strength index on the weekly, watch out for maybe a resistance level there. We're just, as I said, looking a little peaky. And on the monthly, on the relative strength index, yeah, we're back in as well. So you don't spend forever in extremely overvalued. Okay, that's all I got to say really. But looking good. Over that amount on the 4 hour. Now, what I was wrong yesterday, just so you know, and I always call out when I was wrong, when I am wrong. I thought we would find lower prices before we found higher prices. So completely wrong on that. We did have a bit of a dip all the way down to 2,715. I thought we might dip down here first before making new all-time highs. I was wrong on that. Wrong call. So, but do watch out for that as a support level, because on the 4 hour, we've been extremely overvalued. We've ticked back into it, but odds are that on the 4 hour, you're not going to see above here. Okay, so I think this, I could be wrong here. This could tick over now-ish. So just again, on these multiple time frames, we're just looking peakier, particularly on those longer time frames. Okay, just watch out from now anywhere up to about $3,000. I know it's a bit of a gap, but just from there. Okay, I know I'm sort of a broken record at the moment, but I've got to go with the message of the market. And as Ricky says as well, and Ricky agrees, and I think most people agree, you will have a retrace. It just depends where it retraces from. Don't try and play the game of, I'm going to buy here and then wait till it goes here and then make that little bit of profit. I don't recommend doing that unless you're a very experienced day trader. I don't try and do that myself. Like everyone else, dollar cost average. I'm all silver, so we'll talk about silver in just a second. I'm all silver myself, except for a little bit of gold and a little bit of platinum, but don't try and make these little percentage gains. You're in precious metals for the longer term. Okay, so ride the wave. If it retraces, dollar cost average in, and we're all good. It's all copacetic, people. We'll take a look at the gold to silver ratio as well, because I was wrong on that so far. But let's take a look at silver. Man, silver in USD, $34.77 US cents. We'll also take a quick look at silver in Australian dollars as well. Great move. I was saying it was looking peaky, and it is looking peaky on the daily, this is on the 4-hour time frame. So like gold, I was thinking we might come back down into the normal range. I was incorrect. We've had a second pump. Okay, now look where we are. Okay, double. We've been up here in the relative strength index and the extremely overvalued on the 4-hour time frame. We're spending a bit of decent time there now. That will tick over. It always does at some point from here. Not surprising, but I'm not going to say either way. Because on the daily time frame, as I did explain yesterday, on the daily, we've just peaked into extremely overvalued. So you've got a lot of room to move. And on the weekly, you got a lot. We're not even in extremely overvalued yet. So there's so much room to move on the weekly and the monthly. Okay, so we're looking really great guns for silver at this stage. Okay, just watch out for the 4-hour. If you're looking for an area to load up again, just watch on the 4-hour. Okay, if we tick over here, then we head back down. That's when you would see maybe a potential test of the $32.50 area. I think that is more likely to happen at some point because it was a very key resistance level. Come back and test it would be really good. You don't always test previous levels of support, so dollar cost average is the best way to go. But look, this is rah silver time. You've seen a lot of YouTubers and a lot of other people saying the silver squeeze is happening right now. It certainly seems to feel that way. There's a lot of shorts that have been building up, and that could turn into a very large short squeeze, which means that the shorters, to keep their position, have to keep buying more. Okay, and that actually pushes the price up. All right, so they don't get liquidated. All right, so that you never know. This could push it up to this area quite quickly. I will remain for now. I could be so wrong on this, but I'll just, not happy to be wrong, but I'll remain $37 to $40 in 2024. Could be completely wrong, and we just sail through to 50, and geez, that would be good. Now, speaking of $50 USD, what would that be equivalent in Australian dollars? So let's take a look at Australian dollars. I'll end the USD one. Just watch out for 32.50 as support. And as you all know, or for my new subscribers, you do not want to break $29.80. You come back down and break this trend line right here, or break $29.80. Not great. Okay, so you don't want to break that. Otherwise, we're heading back into the best buy zone. And I might not have to call that the best buy zone anymore, because the best buy zone really is just dollar cost averaging. But you break $29.80, we'd be heading back to 28. So just watch that. That's my new line in the sand. But looking great guns so far. Let's take a look at silver on Australian dollars, because we're talking about that $50 top. If when we get to 50 US dollars, right, which will be the third time in history that we get to 50 US dollars, what's that equivalent in Australian dollars at the moment? It is right here. 75 Australian dollars would be the $50 equivalent. So if you're one of those people who believes that we're pumping to 50 really, really quickly, that would be rough equivalent now of 75 Australian dollars for all my Aussie subscribers and Aussie stackers. Along the way, you may have a little Fibonacci level, although I don't think Fibonacci works as well on foreign currencies than it does with the USD, as you all know, or most of you know why, because all foreign currencies float against the USD, so you always have a second factor. So a second variable, or you have an extra variable, or one variable really, which is the foreign currencies floating against the USD. So I've just put it in there. That's at $64. I'm more likely to think that in Australian dollar terms, $75 will be an area of resistance, okay? Unless we in USD just soar straight through $50 as well? I don't think so. It'll probably give it a bit of a test. It'll do the old thing with, is this a triple top? It does it on a lot of assets. You have a top and then a second top, and then a second top which can be a double top, and then you have a big long time for consolidation, and then a triple top, and then all the people start coming out. They go, oh, it's a triple top in silver. Is it a triple top in silver? I'm sure I'll make a video saying, is it a triple top in silver? My answer would be no, probably, because triple tops usually aren't a thing. But I think you'd find resistance at the $50 USD mark, and that's the equivalent of about 75 Australian dollars. Makes sense? Good with the current exchange rate as it is. And I've just popped in there Australian triple digit silver. I've just marked it because one day we will get there in Australian dollars. And we'll do some kind of triple digit party, I think. Shall we? I think we'll mark it with a bit of a, I don't know, I'll wear a funny hat or something. But we'll do a little dance of joy when we hit triple digit. And of course, that'll be a big event. Lots of YouTubers, lots of articles will be like, silver, first time, triple digits in foreign currencies and all that. Canadian dollars, Australian dollars, all that. So that'll be a party. So that is silver in Australian dollars. I won't really say watch out for Australian dollar support levels because, again, we float against the USD. But just watch out for 75 Australian currently as the 50 US dollar equivalent. But it's great to see silver at all-time highs. There's basically no one now, almost no one in Australia that is in the red, unless you bought an hour ago and then we've had a 10-cent dip, right? So we're all in the black. And how good is that? Oh, well, I should say not including premiums. Okay, not including premiums, I should say that. But if you think you can sell your physical bullion for the same premium that you bought it for or even more, then you're actually still in the black. Okay, and another plug for the unallocated program for Perth Bullion Exchange and any unallocated program, but particularly PBEs because their spreads are very good. You can buy, silver, and if it goes up more than $1, you're already in the black. So I think at least look at perthbullion.com.au for their unallocated program and send wealthstack.com to your normie friends as well because, they might like to do it on the phone. That is gold and silver. Platinum. Okay, I am... had a big journey with platinum. We are 1,031 US dollars. The Head and Shoulders pattern is completely invalidated, and we are in my excited zone. So technically, I have to be excited for platinum. I said I would be. I'm excited for platinum here. Still cautious, okay, but look at this. Look at this for platinum. Invalidated Head and Shoulders pattern, which means for me, we're going to see higher prices. And we have seen higher prices, right? So it's invalidated, so we've seen a breakout. A beautiful move. We found support around about the February 2008 trend line, and we've since broken out and above it. It's looking all right. Are we finding some resistance around about here maybe? Yeah, that's previous resistance there. Okay, ish, that's at that kind of rough level right there. You're sort of 1,030 mark. Yeah, it's about there. Okay. Ooh, it's setting it up. It might be setting it up. I was saying that if this is an invalidated Head and Shoulders pattern, that we would continue to break out to the upside. I'm looking very positive now. If we take a look on the daily time frame, okay, with the relative strength index, we have also broken out of two key horizontal levels of these two blue lines. Gee, what do you know? We broke out of this one, found resistance at that one, came back to retest that one, broke out above, and now we're sailing above it. Very good for platinum. This might be the time, and I don't give financial advice, where you would at least want to start looking at platinum if you haven't done it previously. Okay, we're not over my key confirmation levels. My key confirmation level, my final hurdle, 1,115 US dollars-ish, give or take a few bucks, right? You can call it 1120 if you want. If when we close any month at, well, preferably above, if we close a month above it, 1,115, It's signaling to me we might have a bit of a retrace, because that would be a big move. We might have a retrace, but that signals for me bull market, full bull, okay, for me. And that's when I would consider to buy more. I'm getting a little antsy now because we're in my getting excited area. But I will try and stick to my guns and say I'm not buying until one of two things. Either we confirm, close a month above that level there, or we head back into the best buy zone, which doesn't look likely at this stage, although I've said this before. So famous last words, but I'll buy in here and I'll buy up here. Okay, so getting excited zone, and I'm excited for it. So it's looking good. I'm going to show you against, I want to check it because I haven't checked it, against gold and silver. So the platinum to gold ratio and the platinum to silver ratio. Here's the platinum to gold ratio. Ooh, we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, or about a week ago. I don't know. Could this be the rounding area? Could this be the bottom? We're historically at incredible lows versus gold. So platinum versus gold is incredibly undervalued versus gold. It's in the lowest area that it's ever been, ever in history. And we have remained, gee, what do you know? It found support at exactly this trend line. I'm not saying it's not going down from here. It could. Gold could absolutely rip, and platinum doesn't follow as quickly, and therefore you might see this keep on going down. But out of interest, it's pretty interesting to see that. We have found support right there. Green for the month. What I need to see it do is start closing over this level here of 0.39 on the platinum to gold ratio. Okay, you start closing a month above there, and that would be my final hurdle. Oh, did I say no? I said getting interested. My apologies. No, nope. My apologies. No. I was wrong about that. I've written that in there. It's not that one. That's just the low right there. Ignore that. It was this one. Sorry, people. That's the very key resistance level there. I'm not actually going to say getting interested anymore. I think I might have to say, do I have to say final hurdle? Let me have a quick little look here. That's your parity. Yeah, I kind of have to say, no, screw it. I'm going to say it. I'm changing that. I'm changing it on the platinum to gold ratio. That's not my getting interested anymore. That's my final hurdle. Okay. For me personally. Okay. Do not do what I do. I think that's going to be a final hurdle for me. If when we close above 0.45, we have a break and then we have a retest and then we reclaim that breakout level right there. That's my final hurdle to say that platinum will continue its run against gold in the longer term. Okay? Change it from getting interested to my final hurdle. Cool? Doesn't mean I'm saying that's what's going to happen. We're at historical lows. We're currently above that downtrend line. Cool. We can certainly crack back below it. We've got room to move there. Okay? On the relative strength index, you could certainly go back into extremely undervalued for platinum. That could bring this right back down underneath this downtrend line, okay? But we're just at historical lows now. Way up the risk versus reward of waiting for that. That is platinum to gold. Let's do platinum to silver. Now, this is why I have been saying, and I made a video not that long ago, a few weeks ago, maybe a month actually, called Silver is King. And silver is still the king. And I ranked the metals in order. I actually ranked the metals not for outperformingness, that's my technical term. I didn't say silver, then gold, then platinum. I actually have said, and I'm going to stick with it, silver is king, platinum is the queen, gold over the longer term. In terms of their ratios against each other, I think it's that way. Okay, I could be wrong on the platinum thing, but look, platinum versus gold. Okay, it looks like it's finding support-ish, maybe. Okay, but platinum versus silver, it's still tanking. Okay, so now it's at the absolute lowest it's ever been on this ratio at 29.65. Never been lower than this in the history of platinum versus silver. That's the power of silver. Silver is king. I do feel like platinum could be the second though. Okay, so it's still moving down. Platinum versus silver. You've got room to move into extremely undervalued for platinum. If we do get into, if we touch here, which is the bottom end of the normal range on the relative strength index. If we touch there, I would start looking into platinum versus silver, but you could spend a lot of time in here, okay? Because silver is the king. It's definitely the king, okay? And I think we can all see that. So that's platinum for silver, historically very, very low. Could certainly go a lot, down a lot further. On the monthly time frame, yeah, see on the monthly, we're heading towards extremely undervalued for platinum. It's getting to a bottoming area-ish, okay? On the weekly, it's still trending down, okay? So you've got room to move. So yeah, that's the platinum to silver ratio. Silver is just king, man. That is gold, silver, platinum ratio. I want to show you the gold to silver ratio because I was wrong so far. Although I think I will be correct eventually. Let's have a look on the 4-hour time frame. I was suggesting that we had already probably bottomed for a little bit in the gold to silver ratio because I was talking about the fact that we were, we were here. Oh man, we're really low now. Okay, that's looking pretty damn low. All right, that's the gold to silver ratio. As this goes down, silver is outperforming gold. As it goes up, gold is outperforming silver. So we're having a huge silver tear against gold. Let me move that. I can't find it. Where is it? There we go. There you are. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Right. Now, we were here and here on the gold to silver ratio. We had gone into extremely undervalued for gold on the 4-hour time frame. So I was thinking, I think it might curve around here and head back up to these potential resistance levels on the gold to silver ratio, meaning gold would have a little bit of its time in the sun versus silver for a small period of time. I was wrong. I did give the caveat that you can always go lower, but I didn't think it would, but we did, okay? Now I got to tell you, on the 4-hour time frame, that is very, very low. And now I'm going to say, you can go lower. I mean, look at that. You've got room to move lower, okay? But from here, the lower we go, the more likely it is to spring back, okay? So I'll give a second call, and I could be wrong. The second call, second time's a charm. I think from here now we start moving back up into the normal range in the gold to silver ratio on the 4-hour time frame, okay? But now since we've gone so low, it looks like potentially this could now be a new resistance level at that 80.5 level. That's what you really want to see. What you'd love to see is that. See that resistance level there? The 80.5 level has been my below here confirms long-term silver dominance level right there. We broke it. We tried to break above. That was a failed move. Oftentimes from a failed move comes a fast move in the opposite direction. And we've gone into extremely undervalued on the 4-hour, like extremely undervalued. I know all these technical terms. Now, if we break back up, that could be the level. You'd want to watch there. That would be a great move, okay? Very positive for silver would be this. And bang, that is incredibly positive. And the other move, and this is all spitballing, okay, right? Something like, that, and then back down would be lovely, okay? Preferably no higher than here, please, but definitely do not break here. Do not break there at 83.5 on the gold to silver ratio, which would signal this would look like a false breakdown. And then you start closing weeks or months above 83.5. And then we're like, maybe we're not really in the silver dominance thing. Yeah, okay, looks like gold may dominate for a while. Okay, but we're nowhere near there. Just watch out for that. Cool, looking great so far. For silver holders versus gold. That's the gold to silver ratio and all that other stuff. I do not have time for a chart request. We're going to do final comments and then get out of here. Let's see. Excuse me as I just put a little bit more sun there, people. Hope you're enjoying the show. Hit the big red subscribe button to join the GMS family. Any final comments and then we will get out of here. Oh, he will probably win. Who are we talking about? I just saw that come through. Bix Weir, says David Williams. Bix Weir says, yeah. Bix Weir says 1-to-1 gold to silver ratio coming before inverting. That'd be great. It'd be great. I don't necessarily believe that to be the case. I would love it to be the case. Look, historically, the lowest it's been for a long time has been 1 to 32 back in 2011, 1 to 32 ratio. It has been lower than that. If it comes out, if it goes down the ratio that it's coming out of the ground, you're talking about a 1 to 8 ratio. I think Mike Maloney has even talked about maybe a 1 to 3 or even a 1 to 2 ratio as an outlier. 1 to 1 parity. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? But for me, I'm going to stick with probably swapping a portion of my silver into gold at the 1 to 50 ratio, just to be conservative, okay? And then keep riding the wave down. And you look, there are people who believe that one day, and G before inverting, and that's right. So Bixwell says 1 to 1 before inverting. So I thought you meant reverting. So if you meant reverting 1 to 1 and then bounces back up again, but if you mean inverting and then going, so some people do believe that. Maybe Bix is one of those people. Magadonald's Fry says silver is king. Can't spell MAGA without AG. Love it. Trump is MAGA. It all makes sense now. The numerology all makes sense. Absolutely. MAGA says some people also like platinum bands for some diamonds with open backs as it affects the light as reflected. Yes. Yes, I got for my partner's engagement ring, it was a platinum-based band. And then I actually got it, covered in, plated in, so it's platinum with rhodium plating. I got rhodium plating. That's kind of cool. Lucy's Platinum Football is back in. Great to see you. Let's see. I'll scroll back a little bit for some comments. And then we will get out of here, people. This has been a great time, and thank you so much for watching. Let's see. Here's an interesting call. Putin is buying massive. Well, no, this is not the call because we talked about this on one of the shows. Was that the new budget, the new Russian budget, obviously has to be approved by Putin because he approves everything, because he's the leader. Is in their budget, or the proposed budget was to start adding silver to their reserves. So Putin is buying massive amounts of silver. I don't know if it's confirmed yet, but unless you've got some information that it has been confirmed, he's buying massive amounts of silver, forcing a bad short position on several US banks. Imagine if that's the play. Excuse me, one more moment. Imagine if that's the play. Imagine if that's the secret play. That Putin's forcing the shorting of the silver market. Putin's creating the silver squeeze. He's trying to break the US banking sector. That's a really plausible idea. Let's see. David Williams says every $1 rise in spot costs those shorts $200 million, he believes. Amazing. McDonald's thinks 3,000 gold by the end of this year. I mean, definitely next year. Yeah, potentially this year, as we've talked about. You can have that little, that psychological value. It's got room to move. Looking peaky, but we've got room to move to 3K USD. It blew through 2,500 to almost 2,750 now. Yeah, so another $250. What's another $250 for the gold price to straight to $3,000? I do agree. It's definitely a definite possibility. I've been saying for a long time. 3,000 in 2024, easily. I mean, it's doable. Not easy, but it's doable. Let's see. With pricing, shipping is factored in per 20 units. That you're talking about Perth Bullion Exchange's free shipping. So just so you know, if you buy over 20 units of anything, so you can mix and match, then you get instant free shipping from Perth Bullion Exchange. You don't have to buy 20 of one item. You buy 3 of that, 5 of that, as long as you've got 20 units in your shopping cart, 20 items in the shopping cart in your order, it's instant free shipping. Because the way they figured it out is because you're buying singularly of a bunch of different things. Obviously, you're getting charged a slightly higher premium when you buy in singular units rather than buying in bulk of one thing, right? So Ricky's very smart idea was, well, if you're buying smaller amounts where Ricky is getting the full premium that he charges, right, no discounts, then he can afford to give the free shipping because he's making more because you're buying individual units, right? But then if you buy 20 of one thing, you're getting the discount plus free shipping. So it's crazy. Let's see. It was great to talk to Ricky, and I think that could be it, people, unless we have any final comments. Lance says, have a good day, everyone. And that means I think that's our signal. Lance wants to get out of here. I got to get out of here too. It's supply and demand, and there is short supply. Yep, I absolutely agree. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an amazing episode of Good Morning Stackers. Hit the big red subscribe button. I'll let you know tomorrow. But Friday I don't have a show. If you live in Queensland, come see me. I'll plug it tomorrow. I'm going to be in Queensland for a Friday night show, the U2 and In Excess story show. But anyway, I'll plug it later. Another time, maybe tomorrow. People, we gotta dance it out. We gotta go. Grab your tasty beverages, because this has been
Good Morning Stack.
Oh yeah, we're feeling fine.
Good Morning Stack.
It's podcast time.
Grab it.
Grab a tasty beverage. Let's get in the groove.
Let's do the
Synchronized slurp.
in 3,
Now we're on
2,
the move.
1. Slurp it, peeps.
Good Morning Stack.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what an amazing episode. What an amazing day. And what an amazing silver price. It's been great. Stay safe, stay informed, keep stacking, and I'll see ye tomorrow.